We're here to discuss parenting tips, how we can mentor our boys to be men of integrity. It was date 29th, 10 p.m. My son sends me a voice note like, "Mommy, I don't feel like you're my mom." Huh? Did I hear that very well? Like, that was my reaction. I asked him why, and all he could say was that's how he felt. That he doesn't know why, but that's how he felt. As a mother, I pleaded to him and asked him to elaborate, and what he could say was he didn't feel like talking about it, and at this time he was crying. Being a diaspora mother, it broke my heart so bad. I rolled in my bed but could hardly catch any sleep. So I stole a pen from my friend, as I always do, and poured out my heart into my journal. I have this book where I write everything that pisses me off, that makes me happy. And sometimes we think giving our kids money and all they want will make them feel better. There is that age when they really want all that, but mainly they need a father's figure in their life, characters of a real man. A boy child needs masculinity to conquer in this world and be a better man in the future. And I know mothers play a very big role in the boy's life. You cannot teach your boys masculinity as a father would. Let me say, masculinity is referred to qualities or let's say attributes regarded as characteristics of man. Those traits traditionally include strength, courage, independency, leadership, and assertiveness. These things boys should learn them. I feel like the boy child has been neglected. I'm a girl, but I'm a mother of boys. Magma Treasures with your girl Charity. Remember, the goal of this channel is to find those hidden treasures within. And let's dive into the topic today. We have to develop character for that boy child. Your character is who you are when nobody's watching. This drives us to integrity, doing the right thing when nobody is totally watching. As a parent, it's your role to mentor your child to grow into a man of integrity. If we had men of integrity, trust me, the world would be a better place. You can build the character through many ways. Choosing the company that the child associates with. What is your son exposed to? Even as simple as the music he listens to. Teach him to read and choose the books that builds his masculinity, and this increases his confidence as he grows up. You don't want to have your future daughter-in-law having a man who acts like a fellow woman in the house with no authority. However, to be able to do this, it needs to reflect through you. This is what I want to bring in. You need to check yourself. There's no character that you're going to build in your child without having it first. This goes mostly to the fathers out there. How are you going to grow your boy child to be a better man? No man can lead successfully without learning to successfully lead himself. Did you hear that? So it is crucial that you mirror your message when mentoring your kids, which means you must be an example to them, not an excuse. It's time to practice what we preach. Let's go into our story. I told my first son that I would pay him a certain amount of money for each book he reads. All excited and couldn't believe he was going to be paid. Just as simple as that. In 3 days, he was done with one of his books and he was demanding his money. So bad, and I didn't have it, but I had to look for it. What is it that you can teach your child to build a character in him? The reply below with a comment. It might help a parent reading the comments that is listening to this video too. Commitment. Commitment is important to be a man. Being a good mentor is not about being a promise maker, but a promise keeper. Effective mentors keep their word to mentees. Always keep your word to your boy child or any child, but specifically today I want us to talk about boys. Your commitment as a parent to your son grows every day with him. That turns him into a man of his word. Yeah? Your children must know that you mean what you say. You should be the most reliable and dependable person they know on earth. It will teach them to respect you because they respect your word. To add on my son's story, the next day when I called him, this is what he told me. The mother he knows keeps her word and her promise. So to take you back, like a week ago, he had asked for something, and as parents, listen to this, and I hope it's going to help. I just told him I'll send money to do something that he asked, and somehow I didn't do it. So he kept on keeping record of what I had promised. Can you imagine? I didn't do that. Little did I know he was keeping record of all this. And I was like, after all, he was a child. And he concluded that he didn't feel like I'm his mother anymore because I didn't keep the promise. I mean, at some point, you can't blame him. Now, some kids will talk. Some of them are not that loud. My boy is loud. Hell.
In 1, 2, 3, we go. I know my situation, shababai. Shababai, shababai, shababai. Let's go.
I know my situation because I know everything to do. I know my guy, don't know my guy because I know you're my mother. I know my mother is the best. I know how she's the best. I know, but my guide is Jesus because he's my best. And I know everything. Yeah, shababai, shababai,
Shababai, shababai, shababai.
Well, at least we all heard how my boy is loud, right? But I love it because he's very open. Well, sometimes extremely open. Anyway, let's get back to the topic.
They will be quiet and will grow without learning how to keep their words, and of course result into being deceptive because they don't keep their word. The next point is connection. And take note, these points might help even the girl child. Like, when did you last hold your boy as a parent and read him a book, told him how your day was? And I know most of you will say you don't have time, given this era of a busy world. But when did you make a call, even if you're far, like to just tell your kid how your day was, or tell him how a hectic day it was? Don't give your kids only the good news. Kids need to connect to you both ways, good or bad. And we think it's just a normal thing, but let me tell you, these things remain in the boy child or girl child, your child. I mean, give your kids hugs often, a heartfelt one. Meet their strong emotion with empathy. Play a game with them. Tic-tac-toe game, hangman, or have a drawing contest. What about a dance party at home? I can do that well, trust me. Tell each other jokes. Earn your child respect through respect and honesty and transparency. Maybe you are a busy father, and that's fine. But in a month, get a day and connect with your boy child. That day will never be forgotten by him. It will help him make a good father in the future, because most of us remember whatever happened back with our parents. With me being away from my sons, I gave my sons an agreement. I call them thrice in a week on phone and once a week on video. And if I miss out, the next time I call them, it will be the first thing I have to explain. You see how these ways have to first be practiced by you as a parent, yeah? So learn that, connect with them. Let's go to compassion. How about you start being compassionate? It's one thing to mentor with passion, but an effective mentor also mentors with compassion. I mean, it's two different things. As a father, you must be able to create a safe place for your son to share and heal, as well as a healthy place for them to learn and grow. Spare the rod and spoil the child should have a limit. You should be able to get in their face to correct them, but you have to let them know you are always on their side, even if you're correcting them. I personally lost my two parents when I was young, but I happened to have a blessing and be raised by a powerful man. And I remember way back, he used to be the funniest guy in the house, but if you did nonsense, you would even forget that he made you laugh last night. At the end, he would then call you and hug you. Mr. Paul Waswa, God bless you so much. You were such an amazing father. How sweet was that? Even the fact that we were girls, it's these simple things that make a boy child become a great husband or a dad. The next one is important. It's communication. This is not about what we say, but how the child perceives what you say. The perfect mentors lead by listening, not lecturing. Listening and lecturing, two different things. You have to learn how to ask those questions. This helps you to hold your child accountable and empower them in the pursuit of their goals. It's your job to be understood, and it's also your job to make sure you understand. Them understand and you understanding them. So my son recently asked me to pay a higher subscription of the TV channels at home. And I asked him, will you be able to balance the books and TV? He said, I promise. Well, I paid it, but every time I call him, the first thing he tells me the program for the day. He first reads his books and then he does the rest and watches the TV last. So he kept it in his mind. We have a promise together. He understands me, I understand him. He knows he's accountable for this, and I also make sure I pay TV in time. This kind of communication teaches them to be open-minded too. I personally prefer a kid that opens up than one who just keeps quiet. I have two sons. One is so open, another one is a bit quiet, so it's a bit challenging. Well, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification, leave a comment about your ideas in making a boy child great. What do you do at home that makes these boys greater, active, and to be better husbands? The last bit is consistency. As the saying goes, commitment gets you started. Consistency is the one that gets you going. You must be able to keep the follow-up on your side. Don't just teach them, follow them up. What are they doing? Have they learned this or that? You ought to observe and see the mentoring, whether the mentoring is effective. There's no such a thing as a part-time father or mentor. You start the journey of mentoring, it should be consistent. You may not be able to provide everything for your child, but at least he should know that you will always be there for him when he needs you most. So it is very, very important for us to keep being consistent. And the best way to keep this consistency is still about you continuing to portray these ways, the traits, and more in your day-to-day life. The greatest motivation to become a better man is knowing that someone else is looking up to you. Now, in this society, even the mothers have become the mentors of the boy child. So Africa and the world at large, let's rise up. Let's go back to the first ways that our great-grandfathers raised their child, how they used to do these things. You know, these deep masculine characters that men had way back, the authority that a man used to possess, not by beating or toughness. You all understand what I mean. We miss that in the current generation of men. Every father should know that one day his son will follow his example instead of his advice. In conclusion, I would say great men always have a great mentor behind. Decide to be your child's mentor today so you can save the future generations ahead. Please, let's just be the geniuses for our sons. Imagine a generation that has great fathers. The sons would also want to be mentoring their sons. That's how a generation becomes better. And good fathers make good sons. So there you go. Let's save a generation. Let us be better mentors to our children, especially the boys, for this particular topic. God bless you guys. I love you so much and see you in the next video. Ciao.